Communication is the key to any relationship. So what do you do when the phone and the internet is your only way of communicating with the one you love? Today we're talking all about long distance. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode here at TOURISTTOLOCAL. My name is Juliana, and on this channel I share with you guys my travel tips, city guides, product reviews, and stories of my adventures. But today we're talking all about long distance, something I know a little bit too well. But before we get started, as you guys know, my goal is to get 10,000 subscribers on this channel. I'm pushing and pushing for it, so if you could help me out today by simply hitting subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. All right, now let's get into it, guys. Long distance, for some reason, has this bad rep, and a lot of people look down upon a long distance relationship, and they think to themselves that those types of relationships can never work out. And I'm here to say that is not true, okay? I am in a relationship right now with Martin, and he lives in Mexico and I live in the USA, and we couldn't be happier. Long distance has so many benefits. I don't need to go into them into this video, but let me just tell you that it does make seeing each other way more special. You learn to appreciate each other and really work on your communication. See this time of long distance as a time that you get to go through this hardcore communication workshop. This is an amazing opportunity, and you guys are gonna come out of this stronger than ever if you're truly meant to be together. So let's get into my tips, guys. My first tip to you is to always have a trip planned. There is nothing worse than leaving your partner after a long visit and realizing that you don't know the next time you're gonna see them again. Now, maybe you don't have to have the exact date in mind, but just an idea, like, I'm gonna see you in May. Like, I can start counting down towards that. Have something you can look forward to. Counting down makes things so much easier. It's psychological, you know? Having that calendar you can look at and cross out the days, or look at your app and see the number gets lower, it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you realizing that things are gonna get easier and distance is only temporary. In addition to that, it's really important you talk with your partner before starting a long distance relationship and talking about when you're having an idea that the distance is going to end. It is not something you can keep forever, okay? A few years is fine, but I mean, you don't want decades of long distance. So having an idea in mind, like, okay, 2 more years of this and we'll be together. That is something that makes it so rewarding. Also, I suggest to stay in touch via text, but not too much. It's super important to have some funny stories to share with each other over FaceTime or Skype. If you're constantly just letting them know every single detail about your life while you're texting, it's gonna get really boring when you're talking face to face on the phone. With Martine and I, we always send a good morning text, a good night text, and maybe like 6 or 7 texts throughout the day asking how we are, telling about what we're gonna be doing that day. But I mean, maybe some funny stories here and there, but we save a lot of it for our face-to-face conversations because that's where we can truly let our personalities shine. Another tip for you guys is to use WhatsApp to text message. This is a free texting app that if you are dating someone who is international, you don't have to rack up your phone bill over it. It's free calls, free texts. My favorite part about it is you can send audio messages to each other. Martine and I do this a lot if we have a lot we want to say. It keeps your thumbs from getting tired because you can just record yourself and let your voice be heard. It's something special to hear your partner's voice rather than just reading a message. It conveys a completely different thing, and words don't get lost as much in translation, if you know what I mean. Sometimes over text we can misinterpret things, so audio messages make it so much easier to have exactly what you want to say interpreted exactly how you want. Another tip I have is to bond over something like a TV show, maybe play an online game together, something that's gonna make you feel like you are on a little date, you know? So when my boyfriend told me that he likes Game of Thrones, I started watching it like the good girl that I am, and that gave us something to talk about. Or we just talk about, I don't know, we both like traveling, so we're constantly sharing photos of places we want to go to, or we really want to Beagle one day, so we both follow these Beagle accounts and just like send photos back and forth to each other. So have something that you can both you know, bond over and get excited over to bring a little bit of spice to your messages. Another tip is to take a lot of photos and videos when you are finally reunited again. I am always looking at my folder on my phone of the photos and videos we have from when we're together. It reminds me of what I'm fighting for in this relationship, all the good times we've had together, all the places we've been, and gives me hope and gets me excited for the next trip. My next tip is to distract yourself with a project. So whenever I am away from Martine, I always put my missing him into some sort of creative project. I have learned a lot of skills through long distance, like knitting and scrapbooking, video making, photo editing. All of that has kind of been a product of long distance. I like to use my energy that I have to put out my love and show that I really care about him, and it keeps me busy. So I sometimes make scrapbooks of all of our photos together, or I don't know, I'll start some sort of creative project to give him as a gift for when I see him. And he always loves that, and it keeps me busy while we are apart, so it's a win-win. Additionally, if you're not that creative, you can also put energy into yourself, such as going to the gym more. Having time to work on yourself is such a blessing, so use it to your advantage. And finally, go take that Pilates class you've always wanted to take, or dance lessons, or whatever. Being busy is key. Sitting at home, you're gonna get anxious and you're just gonna look at your phone all day. So get out there, be busy, and keep your mind going until you see them next. And lastly, this one's big. If you are in a fight, just put the phone away, wait till you calm down a few hours or maybe overnight, and don't be afraid to put your pride down to apologize first. Because we know ultimately we both care about each other. Sometimes when you're in a fight over the phone, over text messages, it's even worse than a fight in real life because your words live in those messages. You can see them over and over and over again. So, I mean, first off, before you ever send anything you shouldn't, think about it before you send it. But most importantly, realize that when you're in a fight, sometimes your partner can think to themselves, they don't care about me anymore. You guys can begin to doubt if the other one feels the same way about you. For example, if we fight, immediately an hour or so after, I start missing him and I think to myself, I wonder if he misses me or if he hates my guts. I bet he hates my guts. He doesn't miss me at all. And it's those times that I've been able to be vulnerable and go ahead and say I'm sorry for the sake of us is something that's gone far, because usually me apologizing triggers him to apologize, and me saying, you know, I really miss you, he's like, well, I really miss you too. So being honest and being vulnerable and saying like that you miss each other or that you are sorry, being the first one to do that is worth it, because you don't want to go days without talking, because that is just the worst. Everyone has a fight in a relationship. Being able to say you're sorry is the big thing. And if they're the right person, they're gonna forgive you. And if someone says you're sorry to them, if your partner says they're sorry, you should forgive them as well, for the sake of your relationship. Sometimes we have to realize, is this really worth fighting over? Is it really worth fighting over me wearing Birkenstocks and socks, Martine? Like, is that worth fighting over? No. We didn't fight over that, but that's just an example because I wear Birkenstocks and socks. Anyway, that is all, you guys. I hope that was helpful to someone out there. If it was, oh my god, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, follow along my journeys at Instagram. My username is touristtolocal. That's the same as all of my social media accounts. I'd love to see what you guys do in your daily lives, where you travel, all that sort of fun stuff. And we can get a little bit of wanderlust together. So check that out. And yeah, that's it. So long, travel well, and make the world your neighborhood. See you guys next time. Bye!